Welcome back everyone to the Collision Events YouTube channel. My name is Garrett and today's a very special day. It's the start of the Halloween spooky season. I know we had Venom at the beginning of the month on the 1st, but today is something different. I have a new set. Isn't it fucking amazing? Thank you, Spirit Halloween. Not sponsored. They just, I spent a lot of money there on Bing, that up there, that right there. This pillow, which is amazing. Speaking of the spooky season, I'm gonna review the 1978 Halloween today. It's directed by John Carpenter, starring Jamie Lee Curtis and Donald Pleasance. But before I get into the review, make sure you hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification thingy so you know when I post more videos this month. I'm gonna make a ton more. I have 2 more Halloween reviews because we know we have one coming out later this month, and there was one before that. I'm gonna have a Halloween special at the end of this month. No Time to Die comes out in a couple days as of me filming it right now. And I mean, James Bond, of course I'm gonna go see that and talk about that movie. So yeah, hit that little red subscribe button underneath me. I don't know if it's red anymore. I guess the words are red, but who cares? Let's get into the review. Also, spoilers in this video. If you haven't seen the 1978 movie, why haven't you go see it? It's honestly not that scary, which is a bit of a gripe I have. But, like, it's a fun slasher. It's a slasher that has defined a franchise. If it wasn't good, we wouldn't have any of the other films made or the current trilogy of films going on right now. So go watch it and then come back watch what I got going on here. Now, for some reason, the 1978 and 2018 Halloweens are movies I can rewatch pretty often. They're spooky and scary, but not insanely graphic like the Saw franchise that makes me just completely depressed watching them because death and the way people die in those movies suck. This first one, the 1978 Halloween, so good. It is shot so well. The direction by John Carpenter is insane. The amount of long takes that are in this movie that just put you right next to Michael Myers or The Shape, and you just walk with him as he does things or as he's just staring at a character. The one that speaks out to me the most is like when we first see him in the proximity of Laurie Strode. It's one of the times when Laurie is like walking down the sidewalk and then Michael Myers just comes into the right side of the frame and you just see like his like shoulder, like this much of him. Wish I had you all alone, just the 2 of us. And yes, this movie is so well shot. That is a John Carpenter staple. So the movie's opening credits are so well done. The music itself really sets you into the tone that the movie's gonna put you into. It's super tense, and I love the piano part of it. It's really well done. And you see like that zoom in of Michael as the pumpkin. People say it's not really him there, but I mean, come on. He's definitely there in the original. The first scene is a good example of this kind of long shot that I like that the film does. It's from the point of view of Michael as a little boy in 1963, I believe. And it's like 4 minutes of almost uninterrupted cuts of Michael watching his sister do stuff with her boyfriend, and then go upstairs, and then he finds like a knife through the house, and then he goes upstairs and kills her. The boyfriend already left at this point, and then he walks out of the house, and then it cuts when he takes his mask off, and then you have a 30-second long shot of just the parents standing at young Michael holding like a knife with blood on it, and it's a 30-second long shot that starts from Michael like on the ground, and it goes up onto like on a crane or something, and then it's just like looking down at them like they're staring at Michael. Like, why aren't these people doing anything for 30 seconds? That's crazy. Why aren't you like, are you okay, kiddo? What's going on? I know it's a movie, so we don't have to have that stuff into it. It's just too long of a shot, and I know it helps the runtime a little bit because this movie is like an hour and 31 minutes long with the credits. So we meet Donald Pleasance as Loomis way before we meet Laurie Strode. And Donald Pleasance is so good in this movie. He's the one that gets all of the monologues talking about how evil Michael is, and half of his face is shadowed by the night and everything. So you never really get to see like his full emotion, even though it's like very deadpan. It's very serious. Michael is very evil. And then the amazing Jamie Lee Curtis plays Laurie Strode, and she is really good in this movie. My only gripe with the character itself isn't so much the character, it's what Laurie does in the third act. There's a lot of whimpering and whining she does, even when she's not on camera. The sound design still has that like crying noise go through. It's not a very fun noise to listen to. Like, it's not like a scream queen scream or something. It's just a little aggravating when you have these really, really tense scenes, but then what's blasting more in your ear is Laurie Strode's whine, like whimpering and stuff. I don't really like it. This movie is really mean to its character, I would say. Laurie is a naive, sort of innocent person. She does smoke weed, but I don't think that's a bad thing. The only bad thing is that she's underage when she's doing it. At the time of filming this, if you smoked, had sex, drank, did anything like sort of illegal or raunchy at all, that was gonna get you killed in a horror movie. It's a big trope of a slasher movie, those things happening. So I guess her comeuppance is to have to go through this shitty ordeal where all of her friends get fucking killed. And the movie just leaves her, like, crying and sad and just, like, a shell of a person. Which, if we go with the 2018 sequel, kind of makes sense. Given that those two movies are the current canon and Halloween Kills coming out. So I really don't want to go into Halloween 2 and on because those aren't considered current canon and they aren't really this movie. I just wish the ending was a little bit better for Laurie. I don't know. It's a little bit of a bummer movie, not completely nihilistic, because then Laurie would have died, as would probably have the kids. It's not. I mean, the kids get safe. She's an excellent babysitter. She takes really good care of these kids. Is really good with her direction and tone to make them listen. It's really good acting from Jamie Lee Curtis. I skipped over what I wanted to say about the pacing. It moves really quickly, and a lot of stuff doesn't happen. You could say there's a lot of walking around, but this walking around is filled with tension. You see Michael in the foreground or background of a shot, and he's driving around or walking around and watching these characters, and it's terrifying because you see the bad guy. It's not like he's hiding or there's a mystery of where he is. You literally see him and he could do anything at any moment. He's so quiet and calculating and he takes his time, and that's very scary to see. I would say the only kill or scene that doesn't have a lot of tension into it is Linda's, because we just saw Bob get killed, and the great way that happens with him getting a knife through his chest and then it like sticks to like a cabinet thingy. I don't know how that like is able to hold both the knife and his body. Maybe that's just Michael and his evil magic going on, because I think he is a little bit mystical, especially in the current trilogy of movies. But anyway, we see this like person wearing just like a sheet that's like a ghost, and Linda just thinks it's Bob the whole time, but we know it's not Bob. We just saw him get killed, so there's no tension in the scene for the audience, just for the character themselves, so it kind of comes off like a joke a little bit. I don't know, that kill doesn't really work for me. Annie's doesn't work so much for me just because it's kind of just like her getting choked for so long when, I mean, it's Michael Myers. I know it's his first movie and it has to start off somewhere. I guess it's fine. I don't know. I'm gonna get hate for the way I don't like the kills in this movie. They're just not as, like, violent as I wish they were, and I know it's 1978 and all that. So the kills are obviously not what scare me in this movie. They're really not that graphic or insane. It's the tension and suspense and all the other scenes. You know, Michael, like, sitting himself back up after being poked in the eyeball with the hanger. Or when Laurie walks away from the Myers house and Michael just walks into where the light's coming from through the door, and he was just standing there the whole time, but you really couldn't make him out. That's a really good jump scare. That's scary to me. The value in this movie is it puts you in a scene and it'll stay in this scene for so long. When Annie goes to do the laundry, you think something's going to happen to her in the laundry room. It sets up things to go in there. No, nothing happens. She just gets herself stuck. But you think Michael might show up at any moment because we know he's there. He knocked over the pot before. So, like, where's Michael? What's he doing? When's he going to pop out? I'm so tense right now because she could die at literally any moment. Because I have no idea where Michael Myers went. There's one scene that's actually quite bad in this movie. It's after when Laurie and her friends go to each of their houses, and Laurie goes up to her room and she's looking down and she sees like Michael standing in the sheets, and then it cuts to her looking outside the window, cuts back and Michael's suddenly gone, cuts back to her and she like reacts to him suddenly disappearing. But like Laurie would have known he like walked away or something because she's looking right at him. It doesn't make sense. It's edited very weird. I would have just cut out the moment, like her reacting and then like looking away and then looking back and then he's gone. That's how it would have worked better. That's how you can make it flow better. It makes it seem like Michael just teleported away like what zombie Jason does. Laurie coughing from the weed is very, 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 very funny. It shows another point of like how innocent she is, because if she smoked a lot of weed, probably wouldn't be coughing that much. She knows how much to inhale, how much would affect her lungs that way. It's very funny. Unfortunately, a puppy does die in this movie. However, right after it gets killed, there's a shot of like its body like slumping down. This shot looks like it was filmed today. It looks really, really, really good. It was probably a real dog just doing some acting, but dang does it look so good. Mostly because it's shadowed and all that, but I like that there's a traditional final girl circuit in this movie. Laurie goes over to Lindsay's house and she finds all her dead friends. So weird. I don't know why Michael does this. He likes to toy with his crime scenes. You'll see him move things around and such. In this movie, you see him put Judith's grave on the bed and then Annie's laid out in front of it. Bob like swings down from something even though he was like stuck on the wall before. Why wouldn't he keep him stuck on the wall? I don't know. It's stuck on the wall is cooler than him like swinging down, though that is a really cool kill. And then she opens up a cabinet and boom, there's Linda. Everyone's dead. And then once we get that final girl circuit, it all ends up back in the Doyle's house, and this stuff is so much fun to see. Michael just walks in through an open window, and then Laurie stabs him with a crochet, like, needle, hook thingy. Needle, I guess, since it doesn't have, like, a hook part into it. Just be like, I don't know how to crochet or knit, so I'm not going to try to pantomime that at all. And Loomis shoots Michael, and he goes falling out the window. He shoots him like 6 times, too. Michael takes so many hits during this movie, it's kind of wild that he's alive still. But even then, like, he takes a bunch of hits in the next movie, so I don't get to complain about that point in this film. To close out this review, I'm going to talk about the best scene in this film. This is when, right after Laurie and Annie, like, are smoking in the car, and then they see that Annie's dad is a cop, and they drive up to him and they talk to him, and he doesn't smell their weed. They drive away, and then Loomis shows up, and he's talking with Lindsay's dad. And in the background of this shot, and it's all sequential, so there's no like shots to other characters or anything. This is all one scene. And in the background of this shot, while Loomis and the cop are talking, you can see Michael drive past. And it's just so creepy and like defeating to know that Loomis and the cop were right there. They were right next to him. And he got away, and all those kids died. And it's really well done. This movie is technically so perfect. I mean, with how the camera work is done, with how the acting is, the sound design, which I love Michael's breathing throughout this movie, so fun to listen to. Or even like Laurie Strode's like clacking of her shoes on the cement pavement. That stuff always like gets to me. I really love a good sound design and like aesthetic sounds. I do love how well paced this movie. If any gripes I have with it, again, are some little bit editing mistakes. It doesn't make sense here and there. I wish the kill scenes were a little bit more scary, but I like that it's more of a tension and suspense slasher than a full-on slasher. Even though, like, only 2 people get slashed in this movie. So, I don't know if you can really call it a full slasher. Everyone else just gets strangled or killed off screen. In the end, I'm gonna give the 1978 Halloween a 9 out of 10. It is near perfect, just a couple of mistakes here and there, but it is so close to being a perfect movie. It's so much fun. Make sure you go check out the 2018 Halloween reboot / sequel. I'm gonna make a review on that soon. It's gonna tie into this video a little bit, so be sure to look out for that. But if you like this video, give a like. If you want to see more, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye-bye! Lindsay! Lindsay! Lindsay, that dog is barking again and it's annoying me. Lindsay. She doesn't really sing it, but I like how much the actress yells Lindsay. It's really fun to me. It's so stupid. Oh my goodness. Lindsay.